seconds. Okay, good evening, Kingdom Kids families. Welcome to our Family Information Night online. Thank you, coronavirus. So good to have you guys joining us. Want to let you know this is a live stream, so if you have questions tonight for this upcoming school year, questions about your students, question about what's going on with this good-looking crew, then you can just type those in. We'll answer those questions as they come in tonight. I promise we'll get to them all, so don't freak out if we haven't answered your question in the timing that you want. So let's go through a couple things. I got some good friends with me tonight. This is part of our Kingdom Kids staff. And so our administrator down here, Miss Sarah, wave. There's, okay. And then, let's go around the horn. So Christina leads our older kids, so 3rd and 4th and 5th grade classes are with her. Liz leads our preschool. Amanda's leading 1st and 2nd, and then Vanessa's teaching online. Say hello.
Hi.
All right, we got to get through a couple things tonight. Number one, if you haven't taken a tour yet and you're interested in taking a tour here at Kingdom Kids, we want to invite you to do that. You can find out information about that on our website. You can make a call to the school. You can sign up for a time to come in. Liz or one of the teachers will walk you through and give you a tour if you're a new parent. Let's talk a little bit about Open House. That's coming up on August 4th. Want to make you aware of that. What time? Have we decided on a time yet?
It's going to be from 2 to 6, but we're going to have parents sign up for slots so that there's not too many people at one time.
Got it. So you got to sign up for that too. I'm assuming that's on the website? It's going to be.
Once they enroll.
It's going to be.
Yes, once they enroll, then we'll go.
Okay, once they enroll. Okay, so once you're enrolled, sign up for Open House. That's August 4th. You can come meet the teacher, see your classroom, all that kind of stuff. Okay, let's talk a little bit about why we think Kingdom Kids is special here. And so, Sarah, give us the typical rundown. When you're walking a parent through the school here and you're telling them why Kingdom Kids is so great, because it is. Why is it so great?
Well, something that makes it different is that it's smaller, so we have the opportunity to connect with all the families, and we're able to teach them in smaller groups and kind of connect with each kid in a way that they learn best. But also we focus a lot on their character building and faith building, so it all kind of goes hand in hand.
Yeah.
And that makes it different.
Yeah, I love it. I think that, not only as, working here at the Vine and being intimately involved with what's going on with Kingdom Kids, I'm also a parent. I've sent kids here to this school. As a parent, I do love the small environment. I do love the chance to be able to be much more controlled environment. I think that's what makes this opportunity great. We're able to be a little more nimble. We're able to be a little more child focused. We're able to be a little bit more parent involvement here than I think in larger settings. And so I do love it. It's a great opportunity for your kids. And if you are considering that, we pray you jump right in. Okay, so let's go through our options for this year. So we have a number of options that are available to you as parents this year to how you want your kids to connect. And so you're going to have to choose one of these options. And so we want to make sure that you're aware of these. After tonight, when we do this live stream, we're going to put these options for you on the website and on the Facebook page and all that stuff, so you can go back and read them for yourself more closely. But let's go through option one. That's our face-to-face, full instruction, typical traditional learning. Talk to me about it.
So all 3 of the options, we are working really hard to make sure that the kids can still be connected with the other kids in the class and the teachers. So the first option is very much like a normal school year, in the sense that it's the same schedule, same routine as a normal school year would be. And within the classroom, we'll still do our small groups when we're teaching and we're learning and practicing social distancing to the best of our ability, teaching the kids to space themselves the best that they can. And the parents will get to drop off their kids around the school just to that classroom. So the benefit is that the kids will be getting dropped off to their classroom and picked up from their classroom. They won't leave their classroom unless they're doing PE or playground. Okay. And so that helps with the social distancing. And they'll be with their same teacher at all times. They are able to wear masks for school. It's not required, but they are able to. And students are following the same schedules in the classroom as they're going to be following online in both of the other options. So they're all going to kind of do the same thing and just in a different format.
Talk to me a little bit about, like, especially if I'm a new parent, right, and I haven't been in this setting before. Talk to me a little bit about how the groups get formed and like why we think that's special and why we think it's a little bit different than just general class instructional.
So the classes are mixed K through second and third through fifth for the reason that we want each kid to be able to progress at their own rate. So the groups are made based on each kid's ability. And so if a kindergartner was working at a higher level, they would get to work with kids working at a higher level. If somebody was in second grade and they needed more help, they could be with kids on their level too. So that helps because when they meet with the teacher, they're getting that focus from the teacher with just those kids at their pace. And then they rotate. Each group is only like 10 to 15 minutes for all of our classes so the kids can focus on what they're doing. And then they're able to move to something else that's more hands-on.
Yeah.
And so that helps.
And is some of the what goes on in each of the classrooms, and I kind of know the answer to this, but I'm wanting you to kind of clarify it for us. Talk to me about how the technology interacts with the groups. Like, do the groups access it together? Do they have access to their a device? What's the deal?
So all of the groups that we have the teacher focus centers, and then we have hands-on where they're having to work kind of as a team to figure something out. And then there's always a technology-based center. And so the kids will have iPads and laptops just for their group at that time. And their curriculum is being followed on these technology devices. And the parents will always be able to see their rate and their growth that they're doing. And that's part of what is beneficial is with the curriculum. Wherever you're doing it, whatever option, you can always see how they're progressing.
Okay. And then how do we, as administrators and then teachers, how as the teachers and the administration assessing where kids are in their overall educational pursuit, and then how are we testing? You know what I'm saying? How are we doing all that?
So when they first come in the first few weeks, we have different assessments we do, but also just getting to know them because it's important. Like sometimes you can't exactly test them right away if they don't feel comfortable or you're not sure that they're able to freely give you all of their ability. So the first few weeks we get to know them, we kind of connect with them and do different assessments and observations. But our testing system that we choose, private schools do have to choose an assessment as well. We have different options. So the ones that we chose, we test in the beginning, in the middle, and the end of the year, and that's because we can see their growth. So they will test within the first month.
Okay.
And that just shows us very specifically where they're struggling, what they need help with, and that's kind of how we start it.
Okay. That creates like a baseline, and then okay.
And then as they progress, when they test the next time, it might need adjusted. But
Right. Okay. All right, so let's move on real quick. Let's talk about option number 2. This is our online digital instruction full-time platform. Take it away, Ms. Amanda.
Yes, okay, so for option number 2, students will be completing all their assignments online, so that's completely digital. They'll be given weekly assignments starting at the beginning of the week, and they'll be able to complete their work at their own pace. We're also going to provide weekly Zoom lessons, which will be with a teacher. We will provide one-on-one lessons when needed, extra tutoring, and small group instructions. We will also have digital special areas, so students will still be able to participate in PE, Bible, art, and music, all via video links. We'll also have mini lessons that the students will be able to access, and we will be sending home take-home bags with hands-on learning.
Okay. And we want to make sure that, as a parent, that option is available to you. We know that it's a crazy time when it comes to coronavirus and all the stuff that goes along with coronavirus. Tina, I see your question. We're going to get tongue. Hit me. Help me.
Tanya or Tania?
Tania, I think. What do you want to bet?
I don't.
Either way.
Either way.
Beautiful
Okay.
name. What's the question?
Tanya or Tanya?
Okay.
Do you want to? Oh.
Yeah. No, but we'll get to your question in just a
Okay.
second. Great question. But again, as parents, we just want you to know, I'm a parent. I'm sending 5 kids to school this year, right? As a parent, we want you just to know, look, if you're deeply concerned, and it is your right to be deeply concerned about your child, we know it's the most important person in your life. It's the most important person in my life. And we want to make that option available to you. That is absolutely by far the safest option. We know everybody can't take that option, but if that's an option, we want to be able to accommodate that. So, okay, number 3, give us a part-time, face-to-face, online instructional learning combo,
Okay.
which is pretty awesome. Hit me with the combo.
Okay, so option 3 would be part-time face-to-face instruction and online learning combined. So in this option, your child would come to school for either Monday, Wednesday, Friday, or Tuesday, Thursday, and then the other days they would be getting online instruction via Zoom with none other than me. I worked here not last year, but the year before and the year before that, and I just loved it so much that I just had to come back and be part of this amazing school in some capacity. So this gives, me the flexibility to where I can still work with the kids at Kingdom Kids, and it also gives the parents flexibility to either send your kids to school a few days and, for other days to do online learning.
So, okay, so for everybody that doesn't know you,
Okay.
let's get a little background. So you taught here in the county.
I taught in the county, gosh, I don't remember, 6 or 7 years. My strong suit was math, and then I became a math science coach. And then from there, I actually left the county because I came here to work with Sarah at Kingdom Kids, and I just love the school. I pulled my daughter out 4th grade, so she did 4th and 5th grade here at the school. She's in middle school now, which is the only reason she's not here. And I kind of deviated a little bit. I'm working on some
Yeah, why
personal
did you leave
program.
us?
I'm working on a program to work with special needs children because,
Okay.
they need me too.
That seems right.
And like I said, it was really hard for me to leave, and I really believe in the vision here. And I mean, working with these kids is amazing. And, I got to come to work. I got to work with the kids, hands-on. I didn't have all that extra paperwork. I didn't have all that extra, stuff that takes you away from the students. And so that's why I just love it here, and I just wanted to be part of it in some capacity. And so this is almost like an awesome opportunity for us to be able to,
I think it's important
this.
as a parent just to note that as a parent, whether you're taking online classes or you're here in the classroom at Kingdom Kids, especially for our new parents, your child is sitting down with either online or face to face with an actual teacher, like legit, teacher,
Right.
teacher.
And the cool thing is, so when all this coronavirus stuff happened, and I was missing, I just had a baby, so I was home, and I'm like, I need something to do. So I told Sarah, can I do some Zoom lessons with the kids, And the awesome thing was that the kids were, I had a student who was in 5th grade, and she was doing 6th grade work. And so we did 6th grade work, and she was great. And, she kept asking me, like, can I do more? And so we were able to push her because we weren't bound to, we taught standards, but we weren't bound to well, you only get these standards and you're bored, and so you're just going to have to do some more busy work. So that's the beauty, and that's why I love, I love the vision here.
We do love the fact that we, in this type of environment, can be a little more nimble, which
Right.
means what we try to do from an actual practical standpoint is just let the teachers run their classrooms.
Exactly.
Right? And so
Yes.
if you think, hey, I've got a kid that can advance faster,
Yep.
then as the teacher, you're given reins off,
Yep.
move the kid along
Absolutely. Mhm.
quicker if they can move along.
Yeah, if
All
they
right.
can move, why not? Why hold them back?
Boom. Let's
Let's push them.
do it.
Right?
All right, real quick. Next step for families. Liz, talk to us about what families need to do to make one of these choices.
Okay, they just need to enroll your child. If you haven't already done that, you can go to the website, and there'll be something you can fill out there and just check the box of the option you're picking. Or you can just stop by the school any day between 7:30 and 6 and pick up the form to do it here. You also can enroll or sign up for a scholarship, and those are going to be posted right now. You'll see them on the computer. There's 2 sites you can go to for that. If you need help with signing up for a scholarship, you can do that at the school. You could just make an appointment here. And just to remember that open house is going to be August 4th, so you want to enroll before that.
So, real quick, notice on the screen as you're looking at it, kingdomkidsca.com. You can find all that information and the way to make your choice and the way to enroll and then sign up for scholarships. All that information is on the school website too. Make sure you check that out. Okay, let's get to some of these questions and skip into what most of you are interested in, which is how we're going to keep your kids safe. Okay, so how are we keeping your kids safe? Sarah, tell us how we're going to do that in
Okay.
the midst of this mess.
All right. So the good thing is that we started a summer program on June 1st for any parents who needed care. And so we've been putting a lot of these things into practice already just to kind of make sure it was going to work. And it's gone really great. And so far, everybody's been safe, happy, and healthy. And we love that. So one of the things we're going to do is check their temperature at drop-off every day. That'll be part of the routine. And we'll do it again before lunch and again in the afternoon. And kids that come to early care, they'll have that, an extra time of that, or if they stay in aftercare. So this way we can catch any fever as soon as possible. We also had different hand sanitizing stations set up in each classroom, so the kids are used to walking by and getting that whenever they need to. We have also put into the daily routine hand washing times, just for the kids to have that extra remembrance, because if it's a routine, then they know that they need to do it. We have hired a new cleaning company, a professional cleaning company that we feel is going to do an even better job outside of school hours as well. And we have extra staff ready to be what we call peacemakers, and they will go around and sanitize everything that's used and the tables and chairs throughout the day as well. And because the classrooms are smaller and the kids are in their own room, and it's K through 5, so we teach them to be independent and have their own routine, they also are going to have things that they can do to kind of manage their little areas better. And
Okay, so I got a couple questions for you
Okay.
from the chat. I know you're going to do your best that you can with social distance, but if masks are voluntary for kids, are the masks also voluntary for teachers, or are the teachers required to wear masks?
Right. The masks are voluntary for everybody.
Right.
And so something that we do here that we think helps and is important is all the staff are given every day vitamins and different things like that that they have to take. And we all, are working really hard to make sure we stay healthy. But when interacting with the kids, especially at this age, it's hard to envision. But if you just picture your own child and how things go just day to day, even in the summer camp, we have kids that have masks, and we encourage them and we love them, wearing them and all of that. But a lot of times just they're speaking or they're playing, there's a lot of spit and snot going on. They blow their nose in it, then they leave it throughout the room, and you have to remind them to pick it up. When that starts to happen, then you're spreading germs in different ways that sometimes people don't think. And something that we do love here is that kids are taught to connect. They're taught to see each other, in such a loving, kind manner that they do often get close to each other. But, we can teach them social distancing, but that's kind of the beauty of this too. So we don't want them and all of us to be wearing masks and feeling like it's a scary thing either.
Yeah, I think from a parent standpoint that if you've got to remember, and as a parent, I'm thinking the same thing. You've got to remember that if I have 5 kids at the house, right? And if you have a class full of first graders, the idea that all these first graders, let's pretend that they even had masks on every second of every day, that the interaction, what happens between playground and meals and just interaction around the tables and chairs. I don't know how we get around the fact that there's going to be, overlap when it comes to some of the social distancing, some of the cleanliness that we want to do. As much as we want to do, and we're going to max out everything that we can to do this, it just doesn't feel like it's logical to say, maybe it feels better if we just say, oh, we'll have everybody will always have a mask on, but it's not reasonable.
I think that's a good point, is sometimes people want, maybe have an expectation that if there's a rule or a law, we feel safer. But even in the summer camp, we have been we have like little family meetings. We're having conversations about why having your own personal space keeps you, we always say safe, happy, healthy. And why sharing your food, as kind as that is, it's not, helpful in this situation. When you explain it in a way that they understand they're helping each other, they're helping the room, it's a positive way for them to be aware. So we hear them a lot now saying, go wash your hands, don't forget, or no, you have to sit over here a little more, when with the little ones, they have to space out, even more in their groups. And so I think having the conversations with them and how we interact with them too, we can manage it in a way that they are choosing to be safe, healthy, all of that, instead of saying this one thing is going to keep all the germs from spreading, and if you don't have it on, you're in trouble. Because it's important for everybody to understand, to make a child wear a mask, when you say that, you have to think about, what does that mean? What if they don't?
Right.
What is it that people want to happen? And even for us to cover our faces, to then try to connect with them, to get them to do what we're hoping for, it's a lot harder when you feel that
Right.
boundary between you.
Right, especially when you're trying to teach like sounds to a kindergartner.
Perfect example.
Right. Okay, so like apple. Oh, you can't
Yes.
see that? Okay, real quick. One other thing too. If you're a parent, and we're joking, and I know that some of the parents are like, okay, this is serious, and we know that it's serious. But if you're a parent and let's say you've got a third grader, and you know what you want your third grader to come here and have their mask on as much as possible the whole day, then hear me when I say this for the parents. If you have a third grader that you want to be in a mask here, we're going to work with you to encourage that to happen and see that through. We'll partner with you in this. But partnering means that you as a parent, every day this summer, especially for the rest of the summer, should have your child in a mask so that they're prepared when they walk into that classroom the first day, that's their norm, right?
Yeah.
Please don't expect that you're going to drop your kid off. He's never worn a mask into class the first day, and then somehow these instructors are going to spend all day long going, put your mask back on, put your mask back on, put your mask back on, as a disciplinary tactic. It's just going to create an environment of chaos for our students and our classroom. So you as a parent have to partner with us. If you want your kid in a mask, we want to support you in that. We want to partner with you in that. But partnering means we expect you're doing that now every day. A couple hours a day, keep that kid in a mask so that child knows what that's like to be in a mask and is prepared to do that. Make sense? Mm-hmm. Love it. Okay, we're just nailing it here. Okay, we got another question here. In addition to progress monitoring tests, what type of formative assessments are being used to gauge progress, and how often? Are we still using MAPS? Is that the deal?
Yeah, so
Okay.
MAPS is the actual standardized testing that I was talking about. So we do that, like I said, in the beginning, the middle, and the end. And that, we love that because it shows very specifically all the concepts in each subject area. It doesn't just give a math score or a reading score. It shows specifically the areas that we need to help them with.
And
So we
MAPS
love
is
that.
all technology-based, too. They're taking this test. So part of the technology component in the classroom, it's preparing them
Yes.
to use the technology
Exactly.
in a progress
Exactly.
test.
So the two main curriculum things that we use, the programs that we use, the reason that we can do it here and online, and we were able to do it when we had to close suddenly with COVID, is because it's in that same format. So they're used to seeing it every day, and parents can see every day the exact questions that they did, which ones they got right, which ones they got wrong, and that helps us because we can see specifically the ones that they're getting wrong. It has every single standard that is needed to be learned, not just in Florida, but in the nation.
Okay.
And so that way, if they move to a different state, Florida's not the highest of education. So that way, if they move to a different state, they're prepared. And so parents can log on to that every day. The kids have their own login. They learn that in class because they do it every day. Their assignments are given through there, and so parents can see that anytime they want.
Okay. Okay, so let's talk about the really good stuff. What if somebody gets it? Okay, so let's walk through this together. If any of our students or staff members test positive for COVID, they will not be permitted to return to school for at least 14 days. Now, that's just CDC and county guidelines, right? So once tested, once test comes back positive, whether it's an instructor or whether it's a student or whether it's me or whether it's anybody that's at this school at any time, they're going to be asked not to be on property for 14 days while they go through their quarantine period. I was going to say decontamination, but quarantine period, right? So that's going to take place. All parents will be contacted immediately. I mean, here's one of the things that we think we can do at Kingdom Kids that we know probably everybody else can't do, is that we can be transparent and we can get information out to you very quickly. So as a parent, you will go into our flock note system. You'll be given text updates. If there is someone who tests positive, we will make you aware of that, and you can make a decision as a parent how you want to respond to that. We know each parent will respond differently, okay? But as a school policy, student or teacher, 14 days while they go through quarantine. All right. Also, rooms where the student or staff members will be professionally cleaned. So we've got a cleaning service that'll come in, and I'm talking like really professionally clean. We're not talking about like they just vacuum the carpets and rub everything down with Lysol. They take the whole, smoker guns and do the whole deal and sanitize the whole place, hospital level stuff. We've got somebody ready to do that when somebody tests positive, if that happens. Also, if needed, now listen, I have to say this just because it's policy. You need to know as a parent that in the county, it's still a little bit of a moving target. In our state, it's still a little bit of a moving target about what's going to happen if there's a certain number within any one school system or with any one school that tests positive. What will be the response? You just need to know that we're going to follow those CDC guidelines. We're going to follow the county guidelines. And if we reach a saturation point either at this school where COVID becomes a problem, we're ready to do school online with your student. We hope that that doesn't happen. We expect that that won't happen. But the bottom line is we're just telling you that that's the world we live in today. Every school, whether that be public, private, parochial, whatever it is having to come up with that strategy that just says at a certain saturation point, we're going to shut the whole thing down again and go back online. We just need you to know that we're prepared to do that. We are not like planning to do that. We don't want that to happen. We know that you need stability as a parent and with your job and a place for your kids to go. And we want that for you, and we want to partner with you on that. So that's the deal. All right, let me see if I got any more questions. If you got a question, ask it now. We would love for you to pop those questions on and answer any of those. Did I miss anything else, ladies?
The only thing I was going to add is if for some reason somebody does get sick and has to be out for the 2 weeks, then they can, of course, transition to the online completely for those 2 weeks and then come back. But if throughout the year, things have been changing so much in the last few months, so if something happens and a parent wants to change to online during the year or part-time, that's okay. You can change that option, and we will work with you on that. The only one that is harder to change is if you choose to do an online one and then you want to come face-to-face, because we do have to follow ratios, and so we won't overfill our rooms. And so if you do think you're going to want the face-to-face, you just have to kind of think through that now in case there's not space later on if you're wanting to change that part. But they can always change to an online one.
Good one. Okay. Also, this is a good question. Mel asks, what kind of background checks is required for volunteers and substitutes? So I'll let you answer that. Just, walk her through about how we handle substitutes for the most part.
Okay. Well, the substitutes that we have are typically in-house. So our teachers all have, the backgrounds that we legally are required to and our certifications and all that stuff. So we typically, that's why we have several of us for each grade level, because we all are able to and certified to teach each other's classes. So we try to keep it within our own group.
Which means,
we don't
just
have
to be
people
very
outside.
clear, one of the things that's great here at the school, this is one of the things that I like as a parent, is that if, for instance, Christina's out and she teaches, 5th grade, many times what ends up happening is Sarah, as the administrator, will step in and teach until she's back, whether that's a day or 2 days. We think that's a good thing. We think it's a great opportunity for your students to have an intimate relationship with their leaders and connected to all the different teachers that are here on campus. But the truth is, when it comes to substituting Mel, we mostly do it in-house. The only one that does plug some holes that I'm aware of that's kind of like just plays an auxiliary role is just my wife. So that's about the only
Right,
one I know.
but she's on the staff
Yeah.
too.
Yes,
So
yeah.
that's, so nobody.
she's on my staff.
Yeah. So nobody outside of the school. And for volunteers, that's actually a great question, because with COVID, we just wouldn't have other people coming in,
Right.
background or not, because we're responsible for, making sure that we don't have people walking in and out.
Right.
And that's why even with the parent drop off and pickup, we have a car loop, and the expectation is for the child to get out and come into their classroom, because when parents are walking around too, even if it's a little bit of time, that's more chance of things spreading.
Yeah, we want to make sure you get this, parents. We're not trying to strong arm you or manage you or not allow you to interact with your child the way you want. It's just, think about it. We live in a world now where we have to be extremely cautious, and we got to honor all the concerns of every parent that comes into this school. And so when Sarah says, hey, in the drop-off loop, we want your kid to get out of the car and come to the classroom, and we don't want you entering the classroom, it's not because we don't love you. We love you. We know that we partner with you. We're a team. We get it. But if we have 5 or 6 parents that are dropping kids off at the same time and interacting at the door with the teacher, we're just opening up the more and more opportunity for there to be potential problems. So that's why we've taken some of those steps, okay? We got just a thank you from Stephanie. Stephanie, you're great. Okay. Anything else that we forgot? Okay, quick reminder. Take a tour if you haven't taken a tour yet. Open house is on August 4th. You got to pick one of these options, which means going to the school website, pick an option. You can select on there, and then if you haven't signed up, if you're a new parent to this whole system and you haven't even considered signing up and seeing if you're able to get a scholarship, we want you to do that too. You know what I'm saying? So check all those things out. If you got any questions, reach out to the school through the website, through email, or through calling us and set up that tour. We love you guys. We look forward to having your students on campus. Can't wait to see you and meet you. I'll be here on August 4th. Love you, mean it.